When I was 4 years old, we were living in Watertown. And we lived in a two-family house. We lived on the bottom floor. And my dad was a teacher. My mom was a waitress at the time, I believe. And so they didn't have a lot of money. They had 5 kids. And so they didn't get to go out a lot. But every once in a while they were able to manage it. And I remember this particular day. They were going out. I have no idea where they were going. And they got our cousin Peggy to come over and babysit. So Peggy came, my parents left. I don't remember exactly how we managed it, but we managed to get Peggy out the door. And as soon as she was outside, we closed the door, we locked it, we made sure all the windows were locked, and there was no way for her to get back inside. Now, we thought this was the funniest thing in the whole world. We're inside the apartment, we're laughing. Peggy is out the door, she's pounding on the door, let me in, and she's crying, and we're just laughing because we think it is so funny. That was until we heard a voice. My father, unbeknownst to us, forgot his wallet and had to come back and get it. All we heard was, "This door better be open," and we all kind of scattered and tried to hide. Where we thought we were going to hide from my dad in a 3-bedroom apartment, I'm not completely sure, but we did. We tried. Particularly my siblings. I was 4, so I wasn't going to get into much trouble for this. That was more on them. We can many times make very poor choices that really can put us into great difficulties and great danger. I mean, that's really, my dad coming back, that's what his biggest concern was the danger we put ourselves in, unbeknownst. I mean, anything could have happened while Peggy was locked outside. And my father made it very clear to us that that was something that should never, ever happen again. In our relationship with God, many times we can put ourselves in harm's way. We think we know what we're doing. We think what we're doing is a good thing. We can come up with lots of excuses for why it's okay. We can rationalize why the choice we are making is perfectly fine. If you asked any of my siblings and myself before my dad showed up, we would have been really clear why it was okay, because it was really funny. And for a kid, that's a good enough reason. When my dad showed up, we realized it wasn't quite as amusing as we thought it was. And as we struggle in that relationship with God, it's our ability to rationalize that really is what leads us to sin. It's our ability to be able to make choices that, if we really thought about it, we know are not good for us. But in the moment, we just don't care. We want to do what we want to do. And then, when the truth shows up, we know we're kind of in trouble. And really, that's the power of sin in our life, is that it is sort of that thing that's attractive, that thing that looks really good. It's sort of the shiny thing that captures our attention. And the more we look at it, it sort of hypnotizes us. And again, we can come up with all of the excuses as to why it's okay. The world is telling us it's okay to be doing this. The church is wrong. The church is out of date. The church needs to move forward with the times. But what we're really doing is focusing on the shiny object. and losing sight of what we really should be focusing on: Christ. It's very easy to get lost. It's very easy to do the stupid thing, the dangerous thing, because there's lots of ways of rationalizing why it's okay. But ultimately, the power of our God is His love and His mercy, His compassion and His gentleness. Because the more we rationalize, the more we move away from Him, the more He pours His grace into our heart and our life. To help to wake us up to what it is we're doing. To help us to recognize who we're actually locking out. And by locking Him out, what that means to our life. Our lives could be so much simpler if we chose not to rationalize, if we chose to accept the truth for what it is, to accept the truth for who it is, Christ, and simply to sort of follow Mary's advice, do whatever He tells you, and to always let that be our focus, to do what He tells us. But again, it's so easy to decide to just simply lock the door, because then we can do what we want. It doesn't matter that it's not good for us, but it's what we want, and so that's what matters. The heart of Christian life is discovered in never locking the door and leaving it open for the one who's always coming to us, the one who's always knocking on the door, never forcing it open, but simply waiting for us to open it for Him. God bless.